Hey guys, all right. Next up, we have Manhattan Mayhem. Like I said, this is probably one of the best shows in ROH history. At the time, it was pretty much considered the best show. Once 2005 came around, I'd say easily the best show of 2005, and probably the best show in ROH history until probably the Milestone series. All right, so yeah, every match on the show was at least 3 stars. It was just an excellent show from top to bottom, and it wasn't just great wrestling. There was great storylines, there was great build-ups, great feuds. I mean, every single match had some kind of storyline attached to it, or some type of ranking system type of thing attached to it. I mean, it was definitely a progression kind of thing. So next up, we had Nigel McGuinness and Colt Cabana. They had their match. This was kind of like the match that kind of really got their feud going. Nigel kind of showed shades of being a heel in this match. He kind of low blowed Colt to get the win. So that was a pretty good match. James Gibson and Black Tiger had a pretty good match. That was another excellent match from James Gibson. Black Tiger is actually Rocky Romero, for those that don't know. So and Gibson and Romero had another match prior to this as well. So another great match from them. Then we have BJ Whitmer and Jimmy Jacobs versus Roderick Strong and Jack Evans. Excellent tag team title match. Probably one of the most funnest tag team matches you'll ever see in Ring of Honor history. Just a very spot happy match, but it was very fun though. So definitely check it out. Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe. Excellent pure title match. Most would consider this the best match on the show, actually, and I would say without a doubt, this is Jay Lethal's best match ever. Him and Joe just had an excellent match, and I think Jay Lethal and Joe are pretty good friends. It always seems to me that when friends work together, the matches are usually pretty good. So this is what happened here. It was an excellent pure title match. Like I said, Jay Lethal's best match ever, and next up, we had a dog collar match, CM Punk versus Jimmy Rave. Brutal match. This really sets up the blow-off match in Chicago the next week, which would take place in a steel cage. Punk really got like busted open, and the embassy just beat the crap out of him. And he cut a promo after the match, which was really good. So that was that. Next up, we had Austin Aries and Alex Shelley for the ROH title. They've been building this match up since Final Battle. You had the two guys from Generation Next. Aries kicked Shelley out of Generation Next while he was the leader. And I think Aries, the premise of this match was just to showcase that Aries was actually the better wrestler and the right choice to be the leader of Generation X than Alex Shelley. I think Shelley's an excellent wrestler, but I think ROH made the right decision to put the belt on Austin Aries. I think Aries has a lot more dimensions than Shelley in the ring. He's a lot more explosive. He's just an all-around package in the ring. Austin Aries is a wrestling machine. Shelley's more, yeah, I don't know. He relies more on the mat wrestling technique, and I don't know. I just don't think he's as well rounded as Austin Aries in the ring. But these two guys put on an excellent match, one of the best ROH World Title matches to that point. So then the impromptu main event, which really ended the show in phenomenal fashion. It was short, but it was sweet, and it was pretty brutal. You had Low Key and Homicide just beat the crap out of Jay Lethal. An excellent match, which opened the door for other matches between these two tag teams. Yeah, it was Low Key and Homicide versus Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe. Impromptu main event, excellent match. All right, so next up we had the final showdown. The production values are kind of bad on this show. That's my only complaint about it. The hard cam, you could see it, the background or the just the I guess the white balance is off or whatever. It just looked kind of purplish. But aside from that, the wrestling was really good on the show. You had Alex Shelley and Roderick Strong, the opener, which was phenomenal. You had the best comedy match in ROH history. You had Samoa Joe and Jack Evans. Samoa Joe, Jack Evans, Ebetoroh, and Delirious four-corner survival match. Like I said, just a very fun match. BJ Whitmer and Jimmy Jacobs defended the titles against CM Punk and Ace Steel, which is a lot better than expected. I think BJ Whitmer and Jimmy Jacobs made an excellent tag team. Jimmy Rave and Matt Sydal was very good. Then you had the ROH title match, Austin Aries and James Gibson, the rematch from Stalemate, which was very good as well. I think Gibson and Aries put on a great series of matches. That their two matches were really good. This one had a finish. The finish still wasn't that great, but these two were very evenly matched. I really enjoyed both matches. Next up, we had Homicide versus Bryan Danielson, the final match in the best of 5 series, a steel cage match. Excellent match. This is their best match of the series. I still wouldn't call it phenomenal. I think it was a solid 4-star match. The thing about this match that was special was Bryan Danielson did the airplane spin, swirled Homicide around like 100 times, and then he pinned him. to get the win. So yeah, Final Showdown, another excellent show from ROH from 2005. It was for this triple shot, it was probably the weakest, but and it's probably the most underrated as well. Probably because it's a Dayton show and it's squished in between both the Chicago and New York shows. So next up we got the Chicago show. The very next night, it's called Nowhere to Run. Just an excellent show. Probably this is pretty underrated as well, because I would say this is probably one of the top 10, maybe top 15 ROH shows of all time. It really doesn't get the recognition that it deserves because Manhattan Mayhem is so hyped up. But you get James Gibson and BJ Whitmer, another excellent opener, another great James Gibson match. James Gibson, after every single match he had, he got like a standing ovation. Like all of his matches in ROH were probably like at least 3.5 stars. So next up you get Homicide versus Doug Wlliams, which was excellent. This was actually voted one of the best 100 matches in ROH history, actually. I think this barely made the list. Not a lot of people talk about this, but this is just really good stuff. I mean, the counters. What was Doug Wlliams' finishing move again? It was called the torture device. I think that was it. Yeah, Homicide really did some sick counters to that, and the near falls in this match were crazy. This is like an excellent underrated mid-card match between Homicide and Doug Wlliams. Next up, we had Jack Evans and Roderick Strong versus Alex Shelley and Delirious. Alex Shelley was desperately looking for a tag team partner because everyone hates him. No one wanted to be his friend. But the one guy that would tag with him was Delirious. And these two teams worked really well together. This is really fun. Strong and Shelley look great together, and just an excellent underrated tag team match here. Next up, we get Colt Cabana and Nigel McGuinness. They continued their little rivalry, and this was a lot more heated than any of their matches. This is the best match they've had, in my opinion. And this just had tremendous intensity because they build off the previous match where Nigel actually low-blowed Colt Cabana. So Colt was really pissed off the whole match, and it just had a lot of heat. And really, really good stuff. I think Nigel officially turned heel after this match. So next we had Austin Aries versus Bryan Danielson. Danielson won the title shot by defeating Homicide at the Final Showdown. So we had Aries defending the belt against Danielson. I thought this was, I'm going to say, this is probably the best Bryan Danielson Austin Aries match. Without a doubt, the most underrated. Just very fast paced. They didn't go too long. They went about 22 minutes, but it was really hard, and I just really enjoyed this. And they just pretty much did their thing, and after the match, Bryan Danielson left Ring of Honor, took a hiatus. He said, if I can't win the ROH title, then everything I've done in Ring of Honor means nothing, so I quit. So, yeah, Danielson took some time off. And then at the main event, we got CM Punk versus Jimmy Rave, the steel cage match to end the feud. I'm not a big fan of steel cage matches, but, yeah, this is really cool. The overall match, I wouldn't say it wasn't really that great. There was some dull parts in the match, but eventually it did pick up. It was really dramatic. It was really a great blow-off match to the feud. Prince Nana got involved in everything, and the finish is one of the best moments in ROH history. CM Punk actually suplexes Jimmy Rave off the top of the cage. Really, really great stuff. So, yeah, CM Punk won the match. Colt Cabana comes out with Ace Steel. They celebrate. CM Punk singing his theme music at the top of the cage. Just a really special night. Excellent show. You get 3 excellent shows here. Definitely pick all of these shows up. You could get Manhattan Mayhem and Nowhere to Run at the website. You can pick them up in the $10 sale. And Final Showdown, you could actually still buy that on eBay. It shouldn't be too hard to find. So that's my review of the Triple Shot. Probably the 3 best consecutive shows in ROH history. And I'm out. All right.